Love, lights, and blessings. This is Shamanic Arawak Priestess here, and I wanted to make this really cool tag that I saw, Tarot Tag 8, and I figured because it's kind of thundering outside and I just finished my work day that I would make this video real quick. And this is a video response to Robert Alvarez from the Psychic Witch, and I first saw this video on Two Spirits channel, and that's how I discovered his channel, which is really awesome. So if you guys haven't checked out his channel, I highly recommend that you guys do. So the first question is, how old were you when you first began using tarot? I didn't start using tarot until 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. And the reason being is because I'm more of a channeler. So when I first started doing psychic readings, I really didn't use any tools but scrying on water or candle flame or candle wax, things like that, or seeing clairvoyantly the situation. So I didn't start using tools, which my first tool was cartomancy first when I did start using tools, and then that shifted to tarot. Once I discovered tarot, I loved it, and I wasn't exposed to tarot until my mid-20s, because when my mom read and the way she taught me and the way I was exposed to it, she didn't use tools either. She was always scrying, as was my grandmother as well. And if they weren't scrying, cartomancy as well. So I didn't start using tarot until the last almost 5 years. What kind of themes and color schemes do you most love and prefer in tarot decks? So I like two different kinds of deck. It depends on what I'm using it for, if that makes sense. So if I'm reading for clients, because I do read professionally, I tend to like very cartoonish or Rider-Waite style or a Rider-Waite clone. There's only 6 decks, tarot decks, that I use for professional readings, and the other decks that I own, those are more for myself or for rituals. For example, I'm really drawn to, and this I use for professional readings, Hanson Roberts. And the reason being is because I like that everybody looks childlike. I like that it looks like it's colored in with a color pencil. And I like that they look cartoony. So I really love doing professional readings with this type of deck, or the art in The Beautiful Wheel of the Year, which is my soul deck. It's the type of deck that I like to do professional readings. I love color in my decks, and I love things that look like they're hand drawn. I don't like too much CGI and things like that, and I don't like too much clutter in decks that I read with professionally. And like I had stated before, Rider-Waite itself is all versions of Rider-Waite. I love Rider-Waite Smith. So those are the kinds of decks I like to read with professionally. Now, when it comes to me, I do a lot of shadow work or things like that, and more spiritual readings when it comes to myself. The less traditional it is, the better, because I feel like it does open up my intuition. I can get a lot out of that. I do like to, when I do a card pull, I like to put the card on my altar, and that will be my message for the day, whether I meditate, self-reflection. So Wildwood Tarot will be a great example of a deck that I like to use on myself. The more nature themed it is, the better. I have a very strong Taino and Yoruba connection with nature, and I do come from a family of curanderia and shamanism, brujos, if you will. So I don't know if this is because of a past life or because I was exposed to it, but I do love very earth-based decks when it comes to when I do divination or readings for myself. The Gaia Tarot is another example. This is also a very non-traditional deck as well, and I love it for self-work. And I like using these kind of decks for myself because I feel like it does open up my intuition. So those are the kind of decks I like to use for myself. So now, sorry about that. Okay, so number 3 is, how many tarot decks do you have? Okay, so how many tarot decks do I have? For the first, when I first started using tarot professionally, I only used one deck for 3 years. So it was one. And in the last year and a half, almost 2 years, I've accumulated 28 more. So I have 29 tarot decks that I own at this time. So 29. Okay. Do you do daily draws? Yes, I do. I do daily draws. What I do is I usually take a spiritual bath in the morning, do my hygienic stuff, of course, and I usually make a nice hot cup of coffee. And while I'm drinking my coffee and I feel clean and I'm relaxed after the kids are fed and stuff like that, I usually tend to draw a tarot card and an oracle card and a rune. So yes, I do in my private practice draw a tarot card, a card of the day. Not so much for divinatory purposes, but more for either concentrating or knowing what kind of energy I need to work with, or if I need to like look out for something. So if it's like a negative card, I know that there's going to be certain energies working against me. So kind of just spiritually preparing myself for that. And sometimes I may even create a ritual or a working based on a card pull that I will do in the beginning of the day. What about other divination systems? Okay, so yes, I do like to use runes. I like to use oracle cards, and always I love to scry. I still scry with water. I still read candle flames. I still read candle wax. I love reading things in nature. So I'm gonna try to get into reading the shells. So that is something that one of my goals to be doing this year. Okay, memory. So memory as in memorized meanings or intuition, or as in intuitive insights. So I studied tarot, and I still do. I'm continuously studying and always learning something new. I feel like we never stop learning. So, but before I started using it professionally, I did very deeply study it for a whole year. And got the basics down, symbology, all that good stuff. However, I am a psychic person. I am an intuitive person. So my intuition or my psychic hits will always take preference over a book meaning. Because I do believe, and this is just my personal belief, that when I am channeling, the spirits are talking through me, because I do work a lot with ancestors. I have an ancestor altar. I channel, I communicate with, I give offerings to my ancestors, and I also work with the angelic realm, and I do practice African spirituality. So I do work with African deities, and I feel like those are the energies that are speaking through me. And so what their message is going to always override what a book may say the message is. So intuition first, but I do have a solid foundation and an understanding of the basic and traditional meanings as well. Where are you with the tarot right now? In other words, do you feel you are a novice, beginner, intermediate, advanced, or mastery level? I am in between an advanced and mastery level, because I have a good understanding of it. I read professionally, and tarot was something for me, and I know it's different for different people, because I was kind of a channeler first. Working with it wasn't too hard for me. Like, I got it fairly quickly, and I retained the knowledge fairly quickly. So I am going to say advanced and mastery, but I'm not just going to say mastery, because I feel like I will never be just a master, because I'm always going to continue to learn and evolve and better my craft and grow spiritually. So I would rather say I'm in between an advanced and mastery, because I always set the goal out to learn more and better my intuition, my abilities, and my gifts. And I feel like I'm going to always be a student, and I'm always going to be learning, and I'm always going to try to get better and grow. So I always try to remain humble with that. What is your next step with the tarot? Are you thinking about creating a tarot deck? No, I wouldn't create a tarot deck. I'm not very artistic, and I think we have a lot of selections out there. And I'd rather buy tarot decks than make them, to be honest. And between my full-time job, which is I am self-employed, and I have my own spiritual business, which I do healings and psychic readings and intuitive counseling. Between that and working on the online site that I work for, so I do readings there as well for a site, and then I do my own private practice. Between those two areas and the 4 kids and being a single mommy and friends and trying to balance all these things, I just wouldn't have enough time of the day anyways. Am I currently working with a new tarot deck? Yes. I recently acquired the Wildwood Tarot, and I am working with this because this is a new deck. I am journaling a lot with this. I'm trying to get what I see intuitively, but then I also look back at the book. So been doing a lot of intensive shadow work with this deck and getting to know it. So a lot of tarot journaling and meditations and things of that nature. And as far as my tarot practice, if there's anything new, I'm going to be starting, which I'm starting next month, and I've had people sign up for some spiritual classes, and there's going to be touched upon some things about tarot and things like that. So kind of more mentoring this year. That's one of my goals, because I feel like anybody can benefit from tarot, whether if you just never even read professionally, just even reading for oneself. I feel like you can get so much out of it. Even if you don't use it for divination, it's a good tool just to even just see where the energy's at, or dig deep in oneself, shadow work. Like, there's so many things you could use tarot for besides divinatory purposes. So I kind of want to just share that with people. So, well, hopefully you like this video, and thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much, Robert Alvarez the Psychic Witch, for creating this tarot tag. Much love and light and blessings to everyone, and until the next video, bye.